Hi there, it's Amanda Godfrey here from Mystical Dragon, joining you as part of our Kitchen Witchery little online series that we're doing for Facebook and YouTube at the moment. And for those of you that have been following, I hope that you've enjoyed our first few posts and recipes that we've added to our Facebook page. Please do join in our discussions that we're creating and help make this beautiful online experience more of that community energy and community connection, because we'd love to hear your thoughts as well as being able to share some of our own. So here today I just want to talk a little bit about what is kitchen witchery, or what is kitchen witchcraft, which is obviously the focus of our program, so it's nice to have a little introduction to it. I believe it's some of the oldest type of, I suppose, magical path that you could really follow, because I believe that a lot of the witchcraft actually came out of the kitchen, because, you know, most of our herbs, this is where we first, you know, can reach for and gather our herbs from. It was for the kitchen, as well as then kind of moving out onto medical and for other purposes as well. So our kitchen witchcraft really is some of the oldest magical path that we can walk. And personally, I always, with any of my magic work, just like to keep it simple. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing also throughout this little kitchen witchery program that we're doing, is really keeping it simple, bringing it back down to basics. And, you know, not going into those herbs and those things that get too complicated, basically. So kitchen witchcraft really is based around the kitchen. So it is based around our cooking and the ingredients that we have available to us via that kitchen space. So more than just herbs, although herbs is what is commonly thought of when we talk magic and we talk spells and things like that. It's looking at all the ingredients that we can use. So you may be surprised to know that even things like sugar and eggs, all of your fruits and vegetables, they all have certain properties that we can actually work with and I suppose add more energy and imbue with more energy depending on what it is that we're working with and their specific properties. I feel, and the way that I work with kitchen witchery, is it's less about individual spells, so we won't be doing candle spells and things like that as part of this program, but it's more focused around those different properties of different ingredients, our fruits, veg, herb, and also it's around our cooking. And that simplest part of it, this cooking side of it, is imbuing everything that we do with love, or putting some kind of positive energy into all the cooking that we're doing. So for me, my focus in the kitchen is often, you know, putting that loving energy or that healing energy, or putting good wishes into what it is that I'm making. I certainly do my best not to go into the kitchen angry or frustrated when I'm cooking, because that energy is going to be imparted to what it is that you are making. So a good example at the moment, a few weeks ago I made Christmas cakes, which I'm going to give to a few friends and family. And as I make my Christmas cakes, I think about the people that I'm going to be giving those Christmas cakes to. And as I'm mixing it together and making it, I like to think about all the wonderful things that I really hope and wish for those people. So I put those thoughts of joy and prosperity and health and happiness for the coming year into my Christmas cake, into my cookies that I'm making for gifts. You know, I really put some energy and intent in while I'm actually making them. And that's what I see kitchen witchery is at its essence. So we can also utilize different separate ingredients as well, and actually imbue lots of the separate ingredients, putting or focusing on different attributes. So for instance, you know, when I'm adding the cinnamon into my baking, cinnamon is one of its great attributes is that it can be very money drawing, so it can be a good prosperity herb to work with. So before you added that individual cinnamon, you could actually take it, you know, use both hands, really imbue it with that energy and amplify that energy of it, and then add it into your cooking. So we can actually take the individual ingredients, or the ones that really are significant and stand out to us, and put a lot of our energy and empowerment and thought into those ingredients, and pop them into our cooking on that way. So you could be adding a few different ingredients which all have, you know, that different aspect to them of why you'd be adding them into your cooking and what you want to kind of expand on. But like I say, I like to work at that simpler level as well, where I'm simply just putting all of those thoughts and hopes into the whole making of my cake or my biscuits or whatever it is that I might be making, and imbuing the whole lot with that energy and that intent. So you can work either way with your kitchen witchery. Both works very effectively, and you can actually do both if you wanted to. So actually adding your energy and intent into individual items, as well as while you're mixing up the whole thing, which is really how I work with a lot of my spell work. When I am doing my candle magic or whatever kind of spell work, I always encourage that we charge up individual items, all the individual pieces of our spell, and then we put a lot of energy and intent into the whole spell altogether. So it works on a similar level in that way. So there's lots that we can do. Kitchen witchery also comes down to simple little things. So even knowing that cinnamon is a prosperity and money herb, which is just one of its aspects. But by knowing that with the kitchen witchery side of things, you could actually know to, okay, well, you know, I'm having a few money dramas leading up to Christmas, might need a bit of extra cash to come in, so I'm going to grab the cinnamon and I'm actually going to, let's say, make up a little pouch, put it in the back of my wallet, or I'm going to sprinkle it in the money corner. You would know things like, okay, basil's very connected to protection. That's one of its wonderful attributes. So I'm going to specifically grow a pot of basil at my back door just to help protect the family home. Eggs are very good for fertility, for creation. So they are really good, or one of their attributes is to work with them for manifesting and creating. So you could actually, know to work with eggs, pull out eggs to be able to do some manifesting work. So you can actually start to get to know the different ingredients, and they tend to be things we have more on hand, so you don't have to go to your specialist supplier, and then you'd be able to know to go to that particular ingredient if that's the type of thing that I'm kind of needing to work on and expand on. I wanted to also make mention, I love the Hidden Messages in Water book, because that kind of has a bit of our scientific evidence that this kind of imbuing our food and our drink and those things that we're going to consume, it actually really gives us some of that scientific evidence behind it. So I encourage you, if you want a bit of scientific evidence behind what I'm talking about, check out The Hidden Messages in Water. Fantastic book. Has got lots of photos and scientific proof about how we actually change our food and our drink on a molecular level by thinking about certain things. So having the positive thoughts, change it in a really positive way. Being angry and frustrated while we're working with our food and our drink will really have negative influences over it. So it really does have an influence over us when we are consuming it as well. And of course, a real focus that we're taking here in our little kitchen witchery program is also creating our little feasts around the Sabbats and upcoming celebrations. So creating some foodie projects, which for me are all sweet based, so please know you'll be being inspired with cakes and slices and cookies and all these beautiful things, all focused around the Sabbats as well. So that's certainly or definitely part of that kitchen witchery I see be, because we're nurturing our family and our friends with our wonderful food, which we've imbued with such positivity and love. So I'm looking forward to embracing the whole program with you further, sharing some of my own projects that I have upcoming, and I can't wait to see some of your photos and some of your shares.